Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. Have a seat, get cozy, put your feet up. If you're new here, hi, my name is Alanna and I'm a Canadian, but I live here in the UK. And if you're not new here, hey, how's it going? Thanks for coming back. Thank you for believing in me to try again. Recently I did a video on Philomena Cunk and everybody in the comment section was like, you gotta react to Charlie Brooker. So here we are. The only things that I really know about Charlie Brooker is he helped develop the Cunk character, and he is like the brain behind Black Mirror. And I've actually never seen Black Mirror, so we are going to be learning a lot today. To begin our Brooker adventure, I thought we'd start here, 2016, and we'll kind of like move forward in time. This is where we're starting. Hope you guys like it. Hope you're doing well. And without further ado, let's go. Oh, I haven't said that in a while.
12 months have overflowed with harrowing conflict, terror attacks, celebrity deaths and general upheaval. 2016 has been a year so huge and scary I've had to invent a new word to describe it. Shitmungus. Britain sensationally voted to leave the EU. The vote split the nation into real people versus elitists. And if you don't know which is which, well, former City trader Nigel Farage is a real person, whereas refugee-loving Gary Lineker is an elitist, even though, as this tragic footage reveals, he can't afford clothes.
Oh, that's a good pause. I thought 2016 would be good because I moved to the UK at the end of 2015, like literally right before Christmas. So 2016 was my first full year, and I was here for the Brexit vote. Feels like a literal lifetime ago.
Former Labour Shadow Chancellor Ed Balls wowed the nation with his incredible appearances on Strictly Come Dancing. Not to be outdone, Jeremy Corbyn astonished millions by dancing on Labour's grave. Following an election campaign in which he insulted and alienated Mexicans, Muslims, military families, minority groups and women, Donald Trump rode to victory by appealing to just one white male. There's a lot to get through, but we'll get through it together. As 2016 dawned, there was one cause for optimism, which was that at least it wasn't 2015 anymore. 2015 had left us on our knees, experiencing one dispiriting blow after another, just like your mum. But 2016 was bound to be better, if only by default. And sure enough, it began fairly innocently.
All right, what happened in
Take a
January?
look at this. You may just be able to make out a puddle.
Oh, goody, I like this sort of news. It's just like news without the news in it.
Believe it or not, for a fairly long time yesterday, this very scene became an online sensation.
Yes, gripping live footage of pedestrians trying to navigate a big puddle in Newcastle went viral on social media, and soon everyone was planning their own puddle-based programming. We could look forward to the Great British Lake.
Oh my god, I know that it's like crazy pixelated, and shout out to this random channel who re-uploaded this. This is probably gonna get copyright claimed out the butt. I don't know why I just said out the butt. That was the first phrase that came to mind. This is gonna be probably blocked, so if you're seeing it, it's a goddamn miracle. There is something so utterly British about the puddle watch that this went viral in the UK. This feels like peak British sense of humor. Watching people trying to navigate a puddle. I love this place. Let's jump ahead a little bit so I don't get too copyright claimed. What about this?
Good evening. It is not often we begin a news programme like this with the death of a rock star, but David Bowie was no ordinary star, and his was no ordinary death.
Didn't fall in a puddle, did he?
Yes, the news somberly announced that iconic musician David Bowie had died, leading to a heartfelt outpouring of grief.
When Ziggy Stardust came out, I was 12 years old. It said on the back, play at maximum volume. So I put my head between two speakers on the floor and did.
Journalist and tinnitus sufferer Paul Mason there.
There was this David Bowie bloke who was a genius. He was a pop star and also a spaceman. And he became the first person to discover there were spiders on Mars. What was inspiring was how he overcame this massive stutter. I mean, sometimes you could still hear it when he sang.
That is very good. And there is our Philomena. That was the reaction that I did earlier. Love it. And I love this kind of sense of humor. I don't know if he still does these yearly wipes. What a great title, by the way. Let's start here with June. A little bit of politics. I think this was like Brexit time.
Pesky referendum was drawing nearer. Lucky old Team Remain had 3 secret weapons. Weapon number 1, relatable everyman George Osborne.
All aboard for Britain remaining in the European Union.
Weapon number 2, beloved national figurehead David Cameron, seen here winning over an audience of millennials in a sparky online debate.
So I'm voting Remain, but nothing to do with you guys. I hate the Tories. I'm just going to say you've fucked every fucking thing up in this country. You've screwed students, you've screwed the disabled, the vulnerable.
Don't forget the pig.
Also popular with young folk, weapon number 3, Jeremy Corbyn.
This fiery proponent of Remain made a series of sparky media appearances, such as the time he appeared on accessible comedy vehicle The Last Leg to ooze pro-EU enthusiasm like a stone oozes blood.
On a scale of 1 to 10, where 1 is couldn't really care less about the EU and 10 is I'm jumping on the couch like Tom Cruise on Oprah, how passionate are you about them staying in the EU?
Oh, I'd put myself in the upper half of the 5 to 10, so we're looking at 7, 7.5.
Ooh, not...
In the upper half. The charisma. That is rough.
Maybe 7.
Facing this outrageously pumped-up opposition was the Leave campaign, which was actually more like 2 campaigns.
Campaign 1 was the A-list Vote Leave gang, spearheaded by Clean for the Queeners Michael Gove and Boris Johnson. Meanwhile, Bozza was driving around the country in a bus with a startling figure printed up the side.
I remember that.
350 million a week for the NHS, that's a lot of plasters. And it's printed on the side of a bus, so British law dictates that this must and will happen. Although ITV's Tom Bradby seemed notably unimpressed.
Let's deal with your arguments. One of them is on the side of this bus. We send 350 million to Europe. We don't. And you know we don't. No, we don't. You know we don't. Admit that that figure is grotesquely misleading at best.
I won't.
Meanwhile, Leave campaign number 2 was Leave.eu, fronted by Nigel Farage.
Farage had actually quit UKIP last year, only to reappear once again, the human equivalent of a pop-up advert you just can't click away.
Meanwhile, the polls were shifting, sometimes putting Leave in the lead. Team Remain were getting worried, so they started pulling out the stops. Cameron appeared on Channel 4 News to repeat his stronger in mantra yet again, but this time in pink face.
I think we are better off, safer and stronger, as part of a European Union.
Oh my God, he's off the Cameron pink scale. Look, this is pumps me up. Right now, he's gone past gammon. He's gonna blow. Soon Team Remain was Project Fear.
They said if we voted Leave, there'd be a financial catastrophe, an emergency budget, maybe even a war. Society would spiral out of control, Brangelina would split up, the iPhone 7 wouldn't have a headphone jack, the £5 note would be full of animal fat, the bake-off would off and Ed Balls would dance live on television. It was all beyond belief.
Well, Boris certainly seemed to think so, as the news made abundantly clear.
All those who prophesy gloom and doom for British business, look at, I say their pants are on fire.
You know you're standing there called...
Oh man, I could watch this entire thing. I love this sense of humor, and maybe let's just do a little bit more from this year. Let's start here.
Donald Trump was doing really well in his campaign, like he hadn't put a foot wrong. And then suddenly this video came out that put him in a totally new light. And he didn't seem as nice as you thought he was when he was just shouting about Muslims and Mexicans.
You can do anything.
Whatever you want.
Grab him by the pussy.
I forgot about this.
The bloke he'd said this stuff to was this sort of snickering gimp boy called Billy Bush. And everyone was so disgusted with him, he got fired.
The NBC TV network has sacked Billy Bush as host of the Today Show.
But there was literally nothing anyone could do to punish Donald Trump. They had literally no choice but to go ahead and vote for him.
After the tape appeared, all these women came out to say he'd done creepy things to them too. But there wasn't really any evidence that he'd actually do stuff like that, apart from the recording of him saying he did. And that was just his word against his.
That's very good. How about this? This is, you know, Watch Mojo just has a video about literally everything. This is 10 best Charlie Brooker moments. And we're going to skip ahead to number 5.
Number 5, lying about being deaf, would I lie to you? If you're quick-witted and good on camera, sooner or later,
is he
you're
just
bound
gonna
to wind
retell
up on
this?
a panel show or two.
You know what? We're gonna watch this. Okay, rather than watching some man talk about this episode, we're just gonna watch part of this episode.
For 6 years, I pretended to a girlfriend that I was partially deaf.
Partially deaf. That could be true.
Seems reasonable enough.
6 years is a long
David's
time.
team, what do you think?
After how many?
Look how young! Oh my god, what year is this?
Years of going out with her did this start?
Shamefully quickly.
was by pretending to be partially deaf how you clinched the deal early on.
Are you saying I have to use pity to attract people?
I'm saying you might have used pity.
I'm not above it.
Did she have a very irritating habit that precipitated your going deaf?
Yes, talking.
Oh my God.
She was talking about something that was very important to her, some emotional thing.
Right.
And she said you weren't listening to me and got very upset, started crying, and so I thought I'll lie and tell her I'm deaf in one ear, which I did.
And at that point, what you're saying to her is, I didn't hear anything because I'm deaf in one ear. I thought we were sitting together in silence.
I love that they've even put chapters. What was your reason? Did you tell her? Is it a lie? Okay, so he lied to us. Let's just jump ahead. This is going to get blocked.
In the position of that woman. 6 years! You've lied. You've lied to me.
A big lie?
It's quite a big lie.
You'd be surprised how often it doesn't come up.
Now that's a big lie. And the advantage is, after telling that lie, half the times it comes up, you can pretend you haven't heard.
So what do you think?
I think this is true. I think this could be true.
You think it's a lie?
Horrifically, I think it's true.
I think it might be true.
You think it's true? Charlie, is it truth or lie?
Partially deaf is very different to being deaf.
It's true.
Oh my God, that is diabolical. All right, how about this one? This looks like the antiviral wipe for 2020. This might be the last one. Hold that thought. So, oh my God, his name is Charlton. Give me a more British sounding name than Charlton. Wow, okay. So he's done a couple of wipes. We've got Screenwipe, Games Wipe, News Wipe, and a Weekly Wipe. And then obviously on to Black Mirror. He grew up in a Quaker... I'm sorry. We're learning a lot about Charlton right now. Did you know he grew up in a Quaker household? First of all, number one, Quaker. In Brighton, Stowell. And he was named after a bewitched character. Wow. So is obviously it's not a weekly wipe. Is it Screenwipe? No. Okay, so what? The yearly wipe, is that what it's called? I'm getting off topic here. Okay, I got confused and maybe you guys were screaming at the TV. So Screenwipe started out as, so series 1 was in 2016. There were 2006. And this then turned into the review of the year. So 2009 started the review of the year, which is what we were watching. So they stopped in 2016. They did a best of compilation. And then the antiviral was 2020. So he came back for the 2020 recap. It's a shame that they no longer do it. I'm sure he's probably just too busy. But honestly, I would watch it. Okay, and with that, let's see if we can watch some bits of the antiviral wipe without getting copyright blocked.
Hello, I'm former presenter Charlie Brooker, and you're watching Antiviral Wipe, an emergency homemade show about the thing that's happening, which has involved things like this. The novel coronavirus, street name COVID-19, has swept the globe. It's something scientists have never seen before, unless they've ever so much as glanced at the front cover of any 90s rave compilation CD ever. The pandemic has kept people everywhere trapped indoors with nothing to do. On the plus side, many have taken up absorbing new hobbies like baking, writing novels, and screaming at the walls. As we've all endured months inside our humble abodes, the pandemic has been a great social equaliser. The phrase that sums it up best is, we're all in this together. I actually shouted that just this morning at a bin man out of one of the upper windows of my east wing, and you know what? From the looks of it, he was moved to tears. The stock market has also taken a battering.
Okay.
Some economists fear it.
Let's jump ahead to some like interviewee bits.
And let's not forget, we already have a fantastic NHS, fantastic testing systems, and fantastic surveillance of the spread of the disease.
There you go, fantastic testing and surveillance. Yeah, it's not like infected people could be just flying in around the clock from anywhere in the world. Thank God the authorities are across this. Although there's got to be something us regular little people can do. Do tell.
We must not forget what we can all do to fight this virus, which is to wash our hands. You knew I was going to say this, but wash our hands with soap and water. And forgive me.
OK, how long should I wash them?
For the length of time it takes to sing Happy Birthday twice.
Right, OK, wash hands for length of time it takes to sing Happy Birthday twice. Happy birthday twice.
For the vast majority of the people of this country, we should be going about our business as usual.
Oh, OK, business as usual then. Back to the day job.
There's been a bit of confusing advice about things like shaking hands.
Where's the confusion? Obviously, everyone should avoid doing that.
No, well, Victoria, I can tell you that I'm shaking hands continuously. I was at a hospital the other night where I think there were actually a few coronavirus patients, and I shook hands with everybody.
Oh, right. So actually, it's fine to go to a hospital full of coronavirus patients and shake hands with absolutely everybody.
I think the scientific evidence is, well, I'll hand over to the experts, but our judgment is wash.
Look at his face.
Washing your hands is the crucial thing.
Yeah, wash your hands while you sing Happy Birthday twice.
Before you shake hands, obviously.
Yes, right, but not after. Got it. Over the next few days.
Honestly, that feels like a million years ago. All right, let's jump ahead a little bit.
Music festivals had also been totally Glastonburied, but it takes more than a pandemic to stop the music. In Italy, people started singing opera on their balconies. At least I think she's singing. Maybe that's just what Italian ambulances sound like.
Do you remember when people would go outside and clap for the NHS? I would love to know, anyone, you know, a frontline worker, anyone in the hospitals during COVID, did us standing outside clapping for you, like, did that mean anything? Did that help the fact, you know, that you're working with this virus, like, day in and day out? Who's to say? Only they can say. Anyway, I think I remember what he's about to talk about when all of the celebrities were like singing stuff online and it was really cringy. At least that's what I'm hoping.
This inspired Wonder Woman Gal Gadot to rope in a bunch of her famous chums to sing a cover of Imagine, which united millions against her.
Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try.
I have a hard time watching this.
If only John Lennon was alive to see this. He'd be ringing Mark Chapman and screaming his own coordinates down the phone. Music lovers could also enjoy the inspiring One World Together at Home concert, where the great and good lifted all our spirits by serenading the globe from their humble luxury mansions.
Yeah, they're like
it was
luxury
great news
homes.
for anyone who's ever wondered what a Skype call with Paul McCartney or a Zoom conference with the Rolling Stones would look like. Thing is, a lot of the song choices were sort of depressing, and I'm not sure that's quite the mood a frightened and worried world needed.
Smile though your heart is breaking.
Oh yeah, I'm smiling all right, can't you see? Although there was one rib-tickling highlight when, in a bid to unite the planet, King Elton John unveiled an entirely new global language containing no vowels or consonants, which he's invented, called Cringelish, and he used it to perform his evergreen hit, While I'm Still Dabbing.
I do remember this.
Still dabbing, better than I ever did. Looking like a true survivor, feeling like a little cat. I'm still standing after all the time. Backing up the piece of my life.
I don't want to laugh, but it feels like a medical emergency.
I'm still dabbing. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Say what you like about the coronavirus pandemic, but
Recent, I love their names. Barry Shitpeas, recent historian.
proper test for our generation. I mean, I thought the KFC chicken shortage of 2018 was bad, but this is a whole other level. I mean, it's almost that times 2. It's a bit like being in a war, except instead of being up against Adolf Hitler and the nasties and the Luftwaffe blitzing the shit out of towns in black and white, we're fighting a sort of alien football from another dimension that tries to fly up your nose.
No one knows exactly where it came from, although there's a theory someone bought it at a market in China and then spread it around the world. To be honest, it's a scandal it was even on sale in the first place.
Theory liker.
Next time someone starts flogging a virus, they need to make sure the instructions are a lot clearer, because I'm not going through this again.
Some people think it was created in a factory on purpose, like Pringles, but evil, and tiny, and invisible, and flavoured with disease, which Pringles aren't. Although, as far as I'm concerned, the paprika ones might as well be. Have you tried those? Fucking shocking.
Wish Charlie did his yearly show every year. It was the best part of a new year. I miss his wipes. They were such fun and to the point. Like all the wipes, this has become an incredible time capsule of a very specific moment in British history, yet the wit and sharp insight make it timeless. It's a shame that this isn't still a thing, because I would absolutely watch this. There's loads of these shorts talking about, I think, Black Mirror. I've never seen Black Mirror. Leave a comment down below. Is it worth watching? Let me know. Kind of seems a little bit depressing, but hey ho. How about this one? How does Black Mirror creator Charlie Brooker come up with the episode ideas?
Black Mirror is just written by one stoned British dude who says things like, what if your mum ran on batteries? And actually, that's not that far from the truth. Not the stoned bit. I can't do that anymore. I'm too old. Black Mirror is just written by one stoned British dude
that was it.
Who says,
I love YouTube shorts. Okay, how about just a sketch more? I want to do a little bit of Black Mirror because obviously that's his main project, I would assume, in recent years. This came out just recently on the latest season, I guess, of Black Mirror. The darkest episodes yet.
But who's your sounding board, guys? And how do you just write things down in the middle of the night after a lot of cheese? You eat cheese, go to bed, book beside the bed, chat to your other halves.
No cheese involved. No cheese involved. What tends to happen is, like ideas, you never quite know when they're going to pop up. And so, quite often, I'm walking around with two sort of half-formed ideas that suddenly glom together and you're like, oh, I've got an episode idea. Sometimes I'll come in and I'll sort of say to you, what about this? Usually I'm giggling if it's like a nasty story.
Yeah, if it's really grotty, he's giggling.
I'm giggling my head off. Sometimes I run them past Connie, my wife, and I sort of go, what about, she's so sick of hearing me, sort of like, 1 a.m. going, what if such and such a thing happened? I think so she's often sat there as I'm sort of coming out with an idea, but you just don't know quite where they're gonna they come.
Fair. Did this need to be 5.5 minutes? Who's to say? Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. This has been Charlie Brooker. If I missed something, let me know. Let me know your thoughts and what I should react to next. But in case you missed it, check out this one where I reacted to Philomena Cunk. But as always, thank you guys so much for watching. And until next time, bye!